Hello, everybody, and welcome to another segment of Miss BC Party. Come on in, come on in, come on in. I see everybody. I see you all got your tea too. Now, who got tea for me today? Who got tea for me today? Huh? Who got tea for me today? Hello. You all are speaking to one another. Oh, okay. So, you all do me a favor. As you can imagine, today's tea is going to be quite full, okay, to say the least. I need you all to do me the favor now, which is why I kind of gave you a few minutes to gather up the people because we need. I think today is an interactive day. I need today to be a very much so interactive day, simply because of the climate and the discussions that need to be had. Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I do appreciate you all for being here. Do me the favor again and share. Do me a favor and share. This, if you have never shared before, this one I need you to share because in lieu of every single thing that's been happening, I need everybody's feedback for sure. Okay, for sure. And I love the fact that you all are having conversation with one another. But if you all would, hello Erica, how are you? If you all would break away and go grab people and bring them back here, simply because we need to have this open dialogue today. We, of course, you already know of what's been happening in this in our society, in our world, in our in our country rather. I'll say that. Let me put my devices on do not disturb because I think I was moving with such urgency today that I didn't really yeah, it's been a week to say the least. This past week that we just completed, you guys, has been an emotional week for us as a people. And then as forgive me, I'm put my devices on do not disturb. It's been an emotional week for us as a people, as well as me, as well as my family. You know what I mean? We have a lot going on. We had a lot going on this previous week. And then a lot of things that are currently happening still. And man, where do you begin? You know what I mean? Where do you begin with what's happening here? Where do you begin with what is being discussed, with what we're seeing, what we're feeling? Where do you begin? At what point do enough become enough? And I think that's the thing that everybody is coming from. That's the thought that everyone has right now in this climate, and that is, when will enough become enough? When will enough become enough? Those of you all who are commenting and viewing from the private page, our private group, Miss B After Dark, I need you to come out of there, and I need to view from another platform because it's not showing your name. Okay. Colita, how are you? How are you? You said you got your tea. Now, know what got your tea means. Okay. I need you all to know what got your tea means. Okay. Got your tea. Got my tea. Just as the banner below says, got my, when you comment got my tea. Because last week when someone commented got my tea, and I actually sent you the link to join our video conversation, you ain't had no tea. You didn't want to become to the tea party. You didn't want to even show your face. So I need you to know what saying got my tea entails. Okay. Saying got my tea means that you want to be on screen with me to discuss the matter at which we will be discussing. Got it? So now that I've said that, how many of you actually have tea? Okay. Now, it's cute and everything, but how many of you actually have tea? Because if you actually have tea, then this is what I'm going to do. Somebody say, oh yeah. Hey Stephanie, how are you? Honey, you're gorgeous in your picture now. You're gorgeous. All right, so now for those of you, okay, she said thanks for clearing that up. Yes, that's what it says down below. Got my tea to join the video conversation. I need y'all to read because it's fundamental. I promise you, it is. It is. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to share. I'm going to share the link at which you need to, if you actually have tea, I want to share the link that you all need to go to in order to visibly be, you'll come and you'll be on in my backstage, okay? All righty, let me see. For those of you who have tea to add, the conversation adds. And I just need y'all to know. Now, if you ain't about that life, don't be playing, okay? If you ain't about that life, don't be playing, okay? Look, Kalita said, got it, great. Hey, Tracy girl, how are you, honey? How are ya? Okay. Hey, Christy, how are you? Come on in, you guys, go ahead and share. All right, now, let's just briefly discuss what has been taking place this week, shall we? Okay. Well, this past week, because when we spill tea, we spill tea on the current and then the current events. Let me do this here. Hello, Khadijah. How are you? There we go. How are you? Well, y'all fine in these pictures now. Y'all real fine. Hold on, I'm gonna have to hire some of y'all. Okay, y'all is fine. 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 Foine. Point. Okay. I'm just saying. Okay, so the thing is just a brief sum up of what's been happening this past week, you guys. We have had, okay, well, starting off with myself, we have had, okay, I see some people coming to spill their tea. Welcome. And just sit tight in the backstage and you will be added shortly, okay? Popping in for a few, okay. All righty. So now, the brief sum up of what's been happening this week here. We've had the killing, the murder of one George Floyd in Minnesota. He was allegedly arrested for forgery. Okay, in the form of, I guess, checks or counterfeit money or whatever the case. That led to the police being called. That led to him being, I guess he was trying to leave because according to the footage, they escorted him out of his car. So he was inside of a car, him and his passenger, and they escorted him out of the car and handcuffed him. They lined him up on the wall, had him have a seat on the wall. Then they stood him up, and then they was walking him to the based on different angles, different footages, different because right now I think the only one police officer's video body cam has been released, but even then, even that camera has been altered. It's been blacked out in some areas. It's been paused and muted in some areas. So of course, anytime camera footages are released 3 and 4 and 5 days later, trust and believe they've been doctored somewhere. Please believe they've been doctored. Okay. Yes, he had a passenger that was in the car. Okay. They both got escorted out. It was just George that was detained. Okay. So now, they lift him up off the ground, off from being lined on the wall. They lifted him up off the ground. They were walking him to a vehicle, and he tripped. Okay, he stumbled one time, and then he tripped at the curb. Okay, and when he tripped, that's how he ended up on the ground. Okay. But according to them, they were saying that he was resisting arrest As we all know now, as we all know, based on the footage from different angles, the stores and retail venues that are neighboring, even across the street, all of the outdoor camera footage, plus the passerbys that were there, the footage all shows that he never once resisted any arrest whatsoever. Never once. Okay. Now, um, there was one officer, Officer Chavin. Hold on, let's see here. Derek Chavin. I want to say Chavin. Who cares? Okay. Well, anyway, he was he was the officer that had him pinned under his knee. Okay. Um, Pinned under his knee, and he was held there. Now, we all have witnessed, we all have seen this footage, and we've seen how, George was pleading, he was begging, he was asking for help, he was saying how he couldn't breathe. He said that his neck hurts, his back hurts, everything hurts. He even at one point called out for his mom, who has been deceased. um, he um, he was struggling. He was struggling, and for a course of about 6 minutes, 6 minutes, George Floyd struggled for his life. He struggled for air. He struggled for the ability to move. He was even saying, you're gonna kill me. They're gonna kill me. They're gonna kill me. This is it. They're gonna kill me. I'm dying, y'all. I'm about to die. All of that, and I'm talking about down to his last air, his last piece of breath. We literally witnessed George Floyd's spirit leave his body. We witnessed that, and when the actual paramedics came, when they came, what we were left to view was his actual vessel, his body. That was it. That was all, because his life had already left. His spirit had already left, and so out of the outrage, out of the outrage, the country is responding. Because before that, we had Breonna Taylor, who was at her home, minding her business. And due to a no knock warrant, which makes absolutely no sense to me, due to a no knock warning, the police raided the wrong house. Okay. And she's no longer here. Prior to that, Ahmaud Arbery, all of which has happened during this quarantine season. Ahmaud Arbery jogging in his own neighborhood and was hunted rather, because the suspects gunning for him, specifically gunning for him. So the outcry that's happening right now is due to people being absolutely, positively fed up. Has nothing to do with looting. Of course, you have some that are out there for selfish gain. However, the premise behind the riots and the protest is the fact that we are, as a whole, fed up. Fed up. Fed up. And so before we get off into the actual detailed stories, okay, and I really want to hear from everybody. You saw the link. The link has been sent. I need you to join me here and give me your feedback. Okay, I'm gonna bring in our first tea party attendant, and she's in the backstage right now. Miss Tracy, are you there, honey? Are you there?
Oh my God, she's putting me on the spot.
Yes, I am. Hi, Tracy. How are you, honey?
Hi,
How
I'm
are
good.
you? Yes, ma'am.
I
Yes,
can,
ma'am. I'm putting you on the spot. You said you
can you
had
hear
some
me?
tea, honey. I
You
can.
can see me. Can you hear
I
me?
absolutely can see your gorgeous face. Yes, ma'am. I can. Yes, ma'am. I can. Well, thank you for coming in. Thank you for your bravery. Yes, me putting you on the spot. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. So I want you to, in your words, I want you to tell us in lieu of the climate and what's happening right now, okay, tell us what your thoughts are. And I mean, and just be as free, you know what I mean? Just because we're having a dialogue, we're having a conversation.
Okay, well, can you hear me?
I can, very much so.
Okay. Right now, I am feeling hurt because of what's going on. I think that the African American people have been done wrong, and Black lives does matter. I am myself Puerto Rican and Jewish. I am married to a white man, but we all love everybody. And I feel that justice needs to be served, and it's time to fix everything. It needs to be done. I am not okay with the rioting. I'm not okay with the looting, but I understand what is going on.
Okay. And so what,
100%.
okay, good. Thank you so much for that. What part specifically about the rioting and the looting are you not in agreement with?
I don't like the fact that they are breaking in and stealing things, which is not okay. And I
Mm-hmm.
understand that they're I don't know how to say this, but some of those stores are small businesses and
Very much so,
they
yes.
rely on that's their livelihood.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're ruined, how are they going to pay their bills? How are they going to put a roof over their head? How are they
Mm-hmm.
going to feed their children?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel, and that's what gets me upset.
Right,
I'm
right.
not upset that they did Auto Nation or Target or anything like that. I
Mm-hmm.
understand why
Mm-hmm.
that. It's
Mm-hmm.
just it breaks my heart that I see the small businesses getting hurt.
Right, 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 right. I agree. I agree. Now on some hand, again, I totally in agree with what you said. I totally understand. I totally understand.
Sorry,
No, what? What?
I don't know what happened.
No, no, you're good. You're there. You're there. I see you. You're just fine. So I don't know. I
Okay,
mean, it's just you can't hear me. You can't hear me.
what the hell?
Okay, go out and come back. Go out and come back.
Okay,
Okay. Okay. So I love her. She has a great spirit. So yeah, I just anybody else who has some feedback, I'm gonna go ahead and um and post the as a matter of fact, there's a comment already in there that has the actual link to join the conversation today. Today I welcome I welcome I welcome the feedback. I thoroughly do. Okay. Come on in. Can you hear me? Okay, good, good, good. Okay, so what I was saying, I totally agree with you in the sense as far as the rioting and the looting goes. Now, when it comes down to the looting and stealing just to be stealing, yes, I totally understand. Now, me, I am a peaceable person. However, I am a peaceable person until you pose a threat to me. When you pose a threat to me, then I'm a whole other person. Okay? And I'm telling you now, I'm not going to stop until I peel your head. If you pose a threat to me, my family, my friends, my loved ones. Okay?
yes.
All right. Let's just throw that out there for anyone who ever dares to try me. Okay? Now, now when it comes down to the rioting, I understand because as a black woman, 100% black, we're tired. We have tried. We have fought, we have marched, we have sang, we have held hands, we have protested, we have written signs, we have, we have yelled, we have screamed, we've even been nice about it, what else do we do? And I think this is where they're saying, like, look, um, you all haven't heard any other method of which we wanted to communicate this. So let's maybe you'll hear this. Maybe you'll hear if we, burn things down. Because here's the thing. You have the organization of KKK, Ku Klux Klan, that burned houses, burned crosses,
Crosses, yeah.
burned, somebody said peace has gotten us nowhere. Burned a lot of things. Kim, I can't pin on this end on this platform, but just you guys just try to catch it if you can. And yet nothing was done. You have some members of the Ku Klux Klan that were deputies and sheriffs and police officers and things like that in their occupation. And so they're behind the badge, they're behind the shield of serve and protect. But then when they have that authority, what they've done with it was avenge their own and wrongfully treat the others that are not like them. They use the shield to push their personal agendas. And I think, now don't get me wrong, because I personally know police officers, I personally know sheriffs and lieutenants and sergeants and all of that. And I know that they are not like this. However, there are so many that are corrupt that is very difficult you can't pick and choose. You know what I'm saying? Because, and the reason that I say you can't pick and choose is because if all of them are in blue, then it's gonna take those who are good from within to check and correct those who are bad from within, within the system. Just like it's gonna take the police to police the police. It's going to take them from the inside to say, look, like say for instance, prime example, the officers with George Floyd. Okay, while the officer Derek Chauvin had his knee in his neck, in George's neck, it was a total of four of them.
And technically there was 3 on his whole body. Like
Three
there
on his
was,
body.
yes, 3 on his body. Chavin was on his neck, and the other 2 went on his back. And then as he was losing consciousness, he I'm sorry, but peed on himself. So you could see the stream of pee coming down. And then he started he was going in and out of consciousness.
Yeah.
So when he was saying my body hurt, it was because they were all on top of him.
Yeah.
And then when he couldn't breathe, it was because Chavin was going, you could see him pushing and pushing his knee on his neck.
Yes, it was. And he so casually, this is what really thoroughly took it over the edge for me. He had his hand in his pocket. While he's resting his weight on George's neck. With such, and he was just so, his disposition, his demeanor, he was just so chilled.
Yeah, and he was a tall guy. So when you're taking him from turning around and handcuffing him, they could have tripped him, and that's why he fell to the ground.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he tripped. And I saw the footage from across the street that was angled on that sidewalk, and it showed that as they lifted him off of the ground, because they grabbed him out of the car, they put him in handcuffs, and they walked him to the sidewalk and had him to sit on up against the wall. Then at that time he's asking how, why am I being arrested? You know what I'm saying? And so, but he was complying. He was not resisting at all. And so they set him on the ground, and then a few minutes later they pick him right back up, have him, assist him up. And then as they're walking him to the patrol car, he trips, which is how he ended up down there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but while I don't know what happened.
Why did it take 3 guys to hold him down? He didn't have to do that.
And my thing is, we later found out, and evidence later came out that Chauvin and he had ongoing animosity with at a place where George Floyd was security. He was operating as security. I want to say it was a nightclub or someplace, a recreational place. And it shows a history of him and Chauvin having back and forth exchanges. So it's not like that was their first encounter with each other. So now it changes the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Now you ask the questions, was this premeditated? Okay. Then on top of that, more evidence comes out that Shao, the Asian officer that was standing guard and watching, he is the brother of Chavin's wife. Yes,
Wow.
that was his brother-in-law. Okay. So that was the reason why Shao wasn't more aggressive
Then he
in
should.
stopping him. He was the only officer that did not have his hands physically on George Floyd. He's also the only one, I believe, that was not kind of accused of doing something. He and according to the video cam, it was a nightclub. So Kim says it was a nightclub that they shared, that they knew each other from. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
According to the cam, the one video cam that was released, there were words that was exchanged, and apparently one of the officers came to Chauvin and said, "Hey man, that's like you can raise up also, you can get up."
How you doing?
Okay? It says Kim says the club manager
Coming,
and
Dylan?
the police officer had issues while working for the club. He had issues with George Floyd while he had issues while working. They had ongoing beef. Okay. Somebody else says, yeah, they worked together before, and I know that Cobb had it out for him from back then. So I guess when he saw him, he saw this as an opportunity. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We saw this as an opportunity. Anybody who's watching, I thank you for tuning in. I need you to do me a favor and be as brave as Tracy was and come on in so we can go ahead and get some different dialogue here. Okay, so now the meat of the matter is coming out. Okay, same thing with Ahmaud Arbery. Okay,
Right.
that wasn't a random, let me just patrol my neighborhood type of situation.
No, he jogged
He was
frequently.
driving. However, the older guy that shot him, he's also a former police officer. And back when Ahmad was in high school, they were messing with him then. They have been harassing him since high school. That very same officer. Okay, so it was not like they were unfamiliar with Ahmad being in the neighborhood. They knew he
They
lived.
all knew him. Yeah.
He's been there for years. Okay, they knew he even down to the cameraman. That's why they sentenced him for the murder. Okay, they charged him with the murder. The cameraman, his story didn't make sense, especially if Ahmad lived in that neighborhood for years. So that means that was not your first time seeing him.
Yeah.
So your story doesn't add up. Okay. So those are the things that I want us to discuss today. The actual truths of the matter. Yes. Somebody said, I did not know that. Yes.
Me either. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm
It's
going to open up the line. Tracy, thank you so very much for coming in
Thank
and sharing
you. I
your
appreciate
feedback.
it.
Okay. I
Thank
thank you
you.
for that. Yes, ma'am. And definitely don't hesitate to come back. Okay. And
I won't.
keep tuning in and share to your people. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Thank you
hon. Thank
guys.
you. Bye bye. Yes, you guys. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She said, yes, she said he was skittish when working around blacks and always escalated any little problem and called for backup. So that was Derek Chauvin working at the nightclub. And then Shelly, you said something before, and I want to go back to that. Okay. Shelley says, I believe that we are rightly offended. We are rightly offended the mistreatment of our people for decades to no avail. It is time to rise up. 45 is inviting his cronies to infiltrate the protest and hurt us further. Come on now, we have to do more than just talking. Talking does not work. Okay? Talking has not worked. It does not work. It is not working. Okay? Sarita says, I was trying to figure out his connection between the two officers, shaking my head, and now it all makes sense. Yes, absolutely. It's making sense now. Okay, it's making sense now. All right, so I want to lay this down before we get into the stories of it all. Paula says everyone needs to feel what we are going through, whether they are directly responsible or not. In my opinion, if someone remains silent because it's not affecting them, then they are indirectly responsible for not holding the people they know accountable. Absolutely. 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 I'm going to send the link out again. Join the conversation. Listen, I am just, my God, it's so much, you guys. It's so much. And furthermore, here, let me add this to it. Yes, Chow is Derek Chauvin's brother-in-law for now, because Kelly, who is Chow's sister, Kelly Chauvin, has since filed for divorce. She said, "Oh, you got me messed up. I ain't got nothing to do with that. You're not gonna have me going through this foolishness with you. Okay? You're not gonna have me doing it. You all come on in and go ahead and hit share for me. Let's get off into the stories of the matter. I just wanted to lay all of those details out now so that we can have something to digest and chew on as I read through the stories. Okay, here we go. All right. Bail, because we all know that Derek Chauvin has been charged, okay, with murder, manslaughter, okay, third degree murder and manslaughter. So now bail, BAIL has been set for ex-Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. Just so you know, all four of the officers that were there, that were involved, that had detained and was responsible for the detaining of George Floyd has been fired. Okay, we all know those things. Okay, now Derek Chauvin could potentially be out of jail soon, as his bail has been set at $500,000. Question to me, and my question though through this whole situation is, why do we have bail? What? See, this is the thing that I'm afraid of. That the same thing with Zimmerman, same thing that happened with the men that shot and killed Ahmaud. Okay, the same thing that happened with that situation right there. I'm trying to understand: is this a show? Okay. Yes, third degree ain't nothing. He needs to be prosecuted for first degree murder. Okay, because that was cold blooded. And now that we know, premeditated. I'm trying to understand why doesn't the judge see the evidence that we see? And in lieu of the evidence, this right here, it changes the game. He knew George. He had worked with George. He had animosity with George, and yet he's getting bail. He's getting bail. According to CNN, court documents obtained Friday indicated that Chauvin has a bail set at $500,000. Okay? But it didn't indicate whether he posted the bail yet or not. Paula said they already got the medical examiner in their pocket, period. Period. Chauvin was arrested Friday and charged with third-degree murder and manslaughter for the kneeling on the neck of George Floyd, an unarmed black man who died in custody after pleading that he could not breathe. Okay? I think for me, I just don't understand. Because for lesser crimes, our men have been given no bail. Third degree is just a slap on the wrist charge. If convicted, he could be out in 18 months on good behavior. And let's not talk about if he pleads out. The charges need to be upgraded. All four of them should be in jail. I seen a report that was stating they were saying Mr. Floyd's health was the issue, not the nail on the neck. Are you kidding me? Listen, regardless of whether his health was an issue or not, guess what? I wouldn't care if the man had asthma. I wouldn't care if he had a pump in his mouth at the time. I don't care if he had a oxygen tank on him. Fact of the matter is, when you are an officer and you have taken an oath to serve and protect, one of the things, and this came out of the mouths of other officers, one of the things that you must do when someone that is in your custody is screaming out for medical aid and they cannot breathe, your job is to stop whatever you're doing and render aid. That is your job, to render aid. It is not your job to be judge and executioner. Your job is to render aid. You are an officer. You are not the judge. You are an officer. Okay? How do we know his wife will not be there to help him after he's so-called? Hey, we don't know that. I really, at this point, don't give a doggone about the wife because she wasn't the one kneeling. How is that not the cause of death? Exactly. Underlying condition, right. Exactly. For him to say it's underlying condition, for the examiner to say that, okay? Crazy. It was murder. Point blank, period. Ridiculous. My thing is, again, the reason that some of these suspects, and yes, suspects, these murderers, are being charged in the first place is because of our public outcry. Ahmaud Arbery was killed, hunted down, gunned down in his neighborhood's street, February 23rd. It took us being fueled with anger and demanding that something change in order for change to take place, in order for them to even be arrested. They had been at home chilling, y'all, since from February, April, March, April, and then got arrested in May. Really? So if we hadn't said anything, you all had just been still on your little vacation, your little whatever home. His prior health conditions has not killed him before. That cop's knee killed that listen. You all who are viewing and commenting from Miss B After Dark, I need you to come out of there and go to an open platform so that your name can be visible. Because right now in the group you're commenting from, it's not visible, okay? I just don't, I think right now, where does it end? Where does it end? It looks to me that he was cuffed in the first place because of Georgia's size, just like the men in New York. Right, because they were intimidated, but they couldn't have. Here's the thing again. Any other synopsis, any other hypothesis about this whole situation, any other one is, I just, now everything changes because Derek Chauvin, the officer, knows him. He knows him. He knows him. One speculation about the wife filing for divorce now is that the divorce will cause assets to be frozen. So she won't have access to the funds, is what you're saying. Is what you're saying. I'm sorry, I say burn, baby, burn. They need to be uncomfortable like we've been uncomfortable for 400 years. It's just disgusting. He had a vendetta in the first place. In my opinion, and I'm a very, very peaceable person in normal real life. But in my opinion, when you get tired of dying, you got to say something. You got to do something. I'm curious right now at this point, honestly speaking. I'm very curious as to where the celebrities are. We have some. We have some. Because there's been an outcry across the nation. We have had riots. It started in Minnesota, D.C., New York, even here in Atlanta, okay, in other places, L.A., screaming out, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Yeah, yeah. There are people out here who are willing to fight for us, and they fight with us because they're tired too. They're tired too. Here's some officers here from Flint, okay? Says they laid down their shields and their batons and started walking with the protesters, okay?
And around the station. We go out there to help people, not do that nonsense. That's right. So I just want to tell you, where's the mayor? Where's the Pastor Hawkins is here. I'm just going to tell you, we want to be with y'all for real. So I took the helmet off and laid the batons down. Yeah. I want to miss the parade. Yeah.
So that was in Flint. And my thing is this. I need to understand those are the officers who know that what's done is wrong. We've done it the right way and our people are still dying, period. Those are the officers that know that it's wrong. How could you stand next to someone who's doing right? I mean, who's doing wrong and leave it at, don't say anything. Jamie Foxx spoke with Georgia's friends just today. George's friends. Okay. We had a few celebrities say something, but there needs to be so much more speaking out. Not just speaking out, but doing something. That still won't make a difference if they freeze assets. No one, period, will have access divorce filing or not. Anything they are on jointly will be frozen. I tell you what, who had a problem with that? Have you ever heard of a group called Anonymous? Anonymous ain't playing no games with the folks, okay? Anonymous says, we understand there has been a conviction. We understand that. But conviction is not enough. They said, we understand that there's been a conviction of one officer, but there were 4 total out there. Okay? There were 4 total out there. You guys go ahead and share this for me. Again, I want dialogue. I need dialogue. I need feedback. I need us. That's for real. We can all congregate and come together for foolishness, for drama, for gossip, for all of the other craziness. This right here is affecting us right here, right now, today. It is affecting us as a people. It's affecting us as a human race. But it is surely affecting us as a Black people. If your skin is brown, honey, it's affecting you. If you're considered minority, it is affecting you. It is thoroughly affecting you. Okay? So we're going to go and I'm going to view this. I'm going to pull up this video here, you guys. I want you all to hear this.
Officers who kill people and commit other crimes need to be held accountable just like the rest of us. Otherwise, they will believe that they have a license to do whatever they want. You will claim that this is just the work of a few bad apples, but what of the officers who stand by and do nothing while they commit offenses against the people they encounter, and the police departments like yours who refuse to prosecute these criminals as they would one of the citizens that they are sworn to protect? People have had enough of the surface corruption and violence from an organization that promises to keep them safe. After the events of the past few years, many people are now beginning to learn that you are not here to save us, but rather, you are here to oppress us and carry out the will of the criminal ruling class. You are here to keep order for the people in control, not to provide safety for the people who are being controlled. In fact, you are the very mechanism that elites use to continue their global system of oppression, and the world is finally starting to wake up to this, and they are becoming increasingly angry every time they see blood needlessly spilled without consequence. These officers must face criminal charges, and Officer Chauvin especially should face murder charges. Unfortunately, we do not trust your corrupt organization to carry out justice, so we will be exposing your many crimes to the world. We are Legion. Expect us. Officers must face criminal charges,
Listen,
and Officer Chauvin is...
y'all see that? That is a group called Anonymous. And they are a team of ultimate hackers. If you have never seen a hack situation go on, they are ultimate hackers. And what they just threatened to do was, until Minnesota does right, they said they will go in and they will hack their system, the police officer systems, and they will expose every wrongdoing that they've ever done. Until justice is actually served. He said they will do it. They will do it. 3 precincts in Minnesota were burned down. Serena says celebrities are sitting down right now. This has exploded, and now they are scared to get involved. It's up to us. Johnson says that's right. The other police officers should have stopped him for moral sake, but shows they have none. Those co-workers, family members are the silent people I'm talking about. They know who they are working and living with, yet they remain silent. They are just as responsible. It's so crazy that we are here still. So crazy that we're here still. And then you have people like 45 who says some of the dumbest stuff, who tweets and posts some of the dumbest stuff. It's just rhetoric. It's just, ever since he took office, don't get me wrong, racism has been, is, and unfortunately has been proven to continue to be here. But what has happened is, some of the people that was once super bold and all of that stuff, they have, you know, when we get people like Barack in office and all of that stuff, they're there. They're just quiet. They're there, but they're just trying to figure out a plan. You know what I mean? Trying to figure out a plan. They're there though. They haven't stopped meeting. They haven't stopped, you know, devising and all of that. But once Donald Trump got into office and started spewing and just vomiting the vile foolery that he's been spewing, that has fueled them. It's fueled the supremacists and the white supremacists and the racists and all. It's fueled them. He's giving them ammunition. Okay? Justice says, I see it and I hear it. It's long overdue. Far too much mess has been going on and causes shame to the police officers who have retired and those who love what they do. Listen. Mantra says, the protest here in Louisiana has caused the officials to call in the National Guards to put our city on curfew. We are actually on curfew too here in Atlanta. We have a 9 p.m. curfew. 45 is an open racist. Open. And 45 says to shoot looters, but he fails to realize and don't care that a lot of those looters have not been us and started the burning period. Okay, we have reasons. Others are capitalizing on the reasons, but we have reasons. You want our money, you want our vote, you want our gifts, our abilities, our talents, our skills. You want our women, you want our men, you want our children. All of those things that you've been wanting for years, for over 400 years. You want it all. You've taken it all. We got to fight every day. Our men has to fight every day, open wars, daily wars. You want it all. You want it all. And here's the point now where we're tired of giving you all of us. We've given you enough. There's no more. And so because we've given you enough, giving you all of us, and then you turn around and slap us in the face by steadily killing our people, then yeah, we're going to take some stuff of y'all's. Then yeah, you're not going to make another buck off of us. You're not going to continue to profit off of us. You're not going to do it. Yeah, they take it all and then try to claim it as their own. You're not going to do it. Yeah, we are pissed off. And yes, we're going to be out here, we're going to bust some stuff up. Because you will never, ever, ever gain and profit another dollar off of our black behinds that you don't even call human. In you all's minds, we are animals. We lack restraint. We're monkeys. We're angry black people. We're thugs, automatic criminals. Being born with black skin has been our sentence in your eyes. Donald Trump says, I can't stand by and watch this happen to a great American city, Minneapolis. A total lack of leadership. Either the very weak radical left mayor, Jacob Fry, get his act together and bring the city under control, or I will send in the National Guard and get the job done right. These thugs, all caps, these thugs are dishonoring the memory of George Floyd, and I won't let that happen. Just spoke to Governor Tim Walz and told him that the military is with him all the way. Any difficulty, and we will assume control, but when the looting starts, the shooting starts. He goes on to say, looting leads to shooting, and that's why a man was shot and killed in Minneapolis on Wednesday night. Or look at what just happened in Louisiana and in Louisville with 7 people shot. I don't want this to happen, and that's what the expression put out last night means. So now he cleaning it up because, it was spoken as a fact, not as a statement. It's very simple. Nobody should have any problem with this other than the haters and those looking to cause trouble on social media. Honor the memory of George Floyd. Melena says, let one of them go on a rampage and they get the excuse of mental illness. They can claim mental illness all day long. Okay? We have the authority. We have authority, and we will use our authority together. They taught us the violence. They taught us, because we were a peaceable people, royal people, kings and queens. They took us from our land where we were royalty. They're angry because they don't have our skin. They're angry because they don't have a lot of stuff we have. Again, we're not talking about all white people. We're talking about those who are corrupt, those who don't see their privilege. Let's talk about Miss Cooper, shall we? Miss Cooper. Let me see if I can find it here, because I want you all to see the video. Kim says Trump needs to shut up. He doesn't have the power he thinks he has at the state levels. Listen, Miss Cooper, the young lady in New York's park. Let's talk about her, shall we? That woman, let me tell you something. I mean, some stuff is just it's so hard to even fathom. Let me see if I can pull this up, because I want you all to see. I want you all to see this. Some stuff is just so hard to fathom that it's real life. Unbelievable. Trump also just said, law and order in Philadelphia now. They're looting stores. Call in our great National Guard, like they finally did. Thank you, President Trump. He thanks himself. Last night in Minneapolis, is this what voters want with Sleepy Joe? He says all demographics. He says like right now it's a campaign for him. This is politics for him. Calls Joe Biden Sleepy Joe. He says all Democrats. He calls everyone he's saying everyone who's responsible for all of these things is a Democrat. That's what he's saying. Still on his own job. Still on it. Hold on, you guys. I'm getting to this story here. Because I just, this is crazy. This is crazy. Let me see if y'all saying something here. He said, yes, all Dems. Yes, the fake damsel in distress, honey. Hold on, let me get to this thing. Girl, oh my God. Okay, I just saw it. There you go. All right, let's see here. He's an idiot, an absolute idiot. That's exactly what he wants to happen. Last night in 2 different cities, vehicles were driven at very high speed through the crowd. Thank God no one was hurt. You see what I'm saying? So angry in my spirit cries out all the time. I had to the other day. I had to log off because, honey. Let's see here.
Please stop. Sir, I'm asking you to stop. Please don't come close to me. Sir, I'm asking you to stop recording. Please don't come close to me. Please take your phone off. Please don't come close to me. I'm taking it and calling the cops. Please call the cops. Please call the cops. I'm going to tell them there's an African American man threatening my life. Please tell them whatever you like. Excuse me? I'm sorry, I'm in the ramble, and there's a man, African American, who's a bicycle on it. He's recording me and threatening me and my dog. There is an African American man. I'm in Central Park. He is recording me and threatening myself and my dog. I'm sorry, I can't hear you breathing. I'm being threatened by a man in the ramble. Please send the cops immediately. Please stop. Sorry, I'm asking you to stop.
Unbelievable. when I saw that initially, y'all, my mouth was just gaping open. My mouth was gaping open, like, what? All because he asked her to put her leash on her dog, which is something that I'm quite sure the park signage has already stated. I'm quite sure there's a sign somewhere in that park that says, please have all your pets and dogs and animals or whatever restrained. As not, you know, as not to attack people. That Cooper story, she could have went left. Oh my God, so badly. She almost killed the dog. Y'all saw that? She was fighting immediately, and also isn't that yes, yes. Mm. Killing the dog. This is the law posted through. Let me tell you something. This woman, let me tell you the results. The Abandoned Angels Cocker Spaniel Rescue Incorporation says. Say yes. It is a law here in our parks unless it's a dog park. Said thank you for the concerned public. Thank you to the concerned public for reaching out to us about a video involving a dog that was adopted from our rescue a few years ago. As of this evening, the owner has voluntarily surrendered the dog in question to our rescue while this matter is being addressed. Our mission remains the health and safety of our rescued dogs. The dog is now in our rescue's care, and he is safe and in good condition. We will not be responding to any further inquiries about the situation, either publicly or privately. Thank you for your understanding. So they done came and took the dog. Hello, 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 Autumn. How are you? Go ahead and do me a favor and share, you guys. We're talking about all of the issues that has taken place throughout this past week. Okay? It is a law for the area of the park they were in, because the area is a bird sanctuary. Exactly. Right. And you know how dogs do. You know, I got one. When there's a bird around, honey, they take off. They chasing the bird. They just want to play. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you all for tuning in. You guys go ahead and share. We are talking about all things Black today and what's been going on here in the media. Okay. I'm trying to find, you guys. I'm trying to find more celebrities that are standing up, that are saying something. I'm trying to find so many responses here. I'm trying to find the outrage of the celebrity entertainment world. I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find it. I really am trying to find it. Okay? I really and truly am. I really and truly am. You know, I see some. I'm not even going to say that all are not stepping up and all are not saying something, but there's not enough. There is not enough. I know here in Atlanta, you know, they had the yeah, listen, Kim said the dog should have bit her. And here's the thing, because at one point I saw the dog just, you know, was kind of weak or whatever. But see, even dogs is fighting for their life. You know, you're going to fight. You're going to fight like George fought. You're going to fight. Okay? Yeah, dogs get excited when they see birds. Yet a lot of people don't like dogs. So it's disgraceful when you feel that. Listen, I'm talking. No, let me tell you something. Yeah, they are very silent. Let me tell you something. That situation could have gone so. Oh my God. She she so naturally did that, y'all. It's like that was her first thing. She was like, and was smug about it. I'm gonna call the police and tell them that you're threatening my life. I'm gonna call the police and tell them you're threatening my life. And actually went to call it. She was speaking in a calm tone at first. Yes, there's a man threatening me and my dog's life. I mean, threatening me and my dog. He's videoing us. She had to repeat it. Yes, there's a man that is threatening me and my dog. And then when they weren't responding in the manner in which she thought they should. Yes, there's a man and he's threatening, and please send a car now. While being 20 feet away. While being 20 feet away. I'm not understanding. Why is it so easy for us to be accused, hunted, fought, lied on, scammed, robbed, uh, all because of our skin color? As if we had something to do with that. What part of our black skin makes us not worthy? What part of our black skin bothers you so much? What are you scared of? She did that crap, and when she listen, she did it too easily. That was her go-to. She's done this before, and she lost her job. She's in a oh my God, in at a working at a as an executive in a financial firm that is over funding money and stuff. Can you? I mean, listen to this. That's why it is easier for Black people to gain financial assistance and loans for business and things like that if you go to a Black owned bank and institution. Because God forbid you take your Black self with a Black business and go and get funding from a white ran bank. There are some of us now, and I'm saying us because I have yet to receive my small business assistance due to coronavirus. I've yet to receive my paycheck protection program financing due to coronavirus. I've yet to, but due to the coronavirus, I've been forced by our government to shut my business down. But the reason that you haven't given me funding yet is because you had to bail out your homeboys and your homegirls over at these big, huge corporations first. But this is a small business financial assistance. I've yet to. I've been having to try to figure things out. I've yet to get funding because due to the situation. I'm having to be creative. I'm having to do whatever so that I can keep a roof over my head and my utilities and things paid up when I've been running a legitimate business for the past so many years. Legitimate business. File my taxes, pay my taxes, the whole 9 yards. But I got to figure it out, right? Do things for the community every year. I feed the community every year. I'm talking about hundreds of people out of my pocket. What is it about us? Because since slavery, the white woman lies to master when the black man wouldn't screw her. Jealous because we are beautiful like the rich soil of this earth. She wanted to have that man arrested. She said there is an African American man threatening her life. She was hoping that the police would jack him up or even kill him. And the fact that that's okay with you, the fact that that's okay with you, I think people are afraid of us because they know from way back we are and still is good at whatever we do. I didn't get mine either for my small business, and I'm white. I'm a white pale girl. I got to figure it out too. This coronavirus affected more than blacks. I'm not saying, Michelle, I'm not saying that it only affect blacks. I was talking about my personal black woman story. I'm definitely not saying that this affected only black people. We all know, and that would be crazy for me to even think and say that it's only been affecting black people. I merely only spoke about my personal story. How you heard that when I was talking about my story, my business, my bills. I don't know how you heard that and applied it to the entire race of blacks. It's baffling. What part of what I said wasn't clear? And you may be a white pale girl. However, what your story has to do with me and what I just said had nothing. They don't correlate. And furthermore, it's comments like this that bothers me. Because until you're in my shoes, Miss Michelle McLaughlin, then you will never be able to speak for me. That is my story. That is my story. No need. No need. I came in on part of your video. Well, here's the thing. Until you have heard the entire story, I will advise you from here on out, from one woman to another, forget the black, forget the white. From one person to another, get the full scoop before you speak, especially on a public platform, especially on mine. I appreciate you for tuning in, though, dear. Please don't go there. This is why there's a miscommunication when you and it. Listen, my thing is this. This is why we're in the situation we're in right now. This is why when we say Black Lives Matter, we have others that come in and say, oh, all lives matter. This is very true. All lives do matter. But until Black lives matter to everybody else, then yes, we're going to say Black Lives Matter. We're absolutely going to point out Black Lives Matter. We're not saying that ours is the only ones that matter. We're saying that ours matter too. And until you stand and respect us as much as you respect other nationalities, including your own, then yes, we have to speak out. You know why? Because when we say Black Lives Matter, or when we say we need help, and when we say we need this, then it's misinterpreted and conceived and received as, well, everybody. This is not a black thing. Everybody is in the same. Coming from a white person who has never lived the life of a black person. Ever. 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 You can never say what our struggle is. You can never say because you've never had to deal with it. You've never had to deal with it. You've never had to stand and defend your skin ever. You've never had to defend your race. All you've had to do was wake up and live. Wake up and live. Go get your lattes, go get your coffees and things, your frappuccinos, go for your jogs. I bet you've never been followed while you were jogging. I bet you've never been to a store and had to be watched via cameras because you are automatically assumed to be a suspect from the moment you step into the building. I mean, stop me. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Please. Please. I bet you as a mother have never been seen to be a whore of some sort if you are raising children by yourself. Okay? All of a sudden, oh, that you a baby mama or whatever the case. When you don't know the story of the person's husband or child's father probably lost his life saving somebody else. Never know the story. So until we know the story, let's just hold our opinions. I don't even report on anything unless I have the full scoop. Yes, you have. Actually, you have. What have you done? What commonality do we share, ma'am? What story do we share? What story do we share? And don't get me wrong, I don't hate you. I just hate the fact that you came on here and assumed something that you and spoke out with not or without all of the information and education, and you tried to come for what I just said. So let's talk. Let's talk. Furthermore, I will give you the opportunity. I'm gonna send the link to you in the comments. I want you to, if you so choose, I would love for you to grab that link and come on board so we can have an open conversation. Me and you. Me and you. I would love to have you here so that you and I can speak. We don't ask for handouts. We say give you rooms. We give you room to shine. Stop killing us. Stop downplaying who we are. We don't share likeness. We share this life. Yes. We share this life. But until you understand what our story is, keep it quiet. Learn how to empathize with people. Learn how to put yourself, try to understand. Even if you can't, because you personally can't. I can never say what a man goes through. I can never say, I know how you feel, sir. How? How do you know how he feels when you're a female? You can understand. You can try to understand. You can give a listening ear. You can empathize, but you can never sympathize because you've never been in his position. Watching you from aisle to aisle. The whites are beginning to realize that in the next decade there will no longer be more than a few authentic whites. They love to mix with us on the down low. Oh, absolutely, mix with us. I saw it best. I saw it best somewhere where it said they love our culture, just not our people. Only things we have in common is being a woman. You've been followed. Have you been followed jogging in your own neighborhood and then you followed by two men and a gun and two guns? Have you been followed that way? That's what I was referring to, Ms. Michelle. Have you been followed that way? And then as you jogging down your lovely neighborhood, have you been gunned down at all? That's what I was referring to when I asked for, have you been followed while jogging? This is the thing that bothers me. It bothers me so much because again, there's always somebody on the other side that tries to diminish or downplay what your outcry is. Try to diminish or downplay what your outcry is. These things you've never experienced. You've never experienced being treated as if you were a suspect before you could even defend or say what you're here for. That man, Ahmaud Arbery, lived in the neighborhood, had every right to jog down that street. And he was followed by his neighbors. Or any of your relatives. Has your child been snatched around while being accused of stealing mail? While your child was at your mailbox? But because your child was black and with her black neighborhood friends, grabbing mail at her family's mailbox, was accused, was snatched around. You've never experienced that. So I'm trying to give you an out here. I'm trying to give you an out here because you do not need to continue this because I promise you, you're not going to win it. I promise you that. Have you ever been in the store shopping and followed because the store clerk thought she was stealing? Nah. She just said she was followed. My husband got treated so wrong while dressed in a $400 tuxedo on our way to a cousin's wedding. Any of these occurrences that we're speaking of, Miss Michelle, have you ever witnessed? Have you ever been a part of that? This is why we do and say and we're reacting the way that we're reacting. Because it's very difficult for some reason for some of the other nationalities to just sit and listen. You always got to do your comparison. You're comparing your stories, pairing one to the other when there is no comparison. Have you ever been told not to touch something, not to touch something or somebody because of your skin tone? I've been called nigger because I was helping a person with a bill and didn't want to create he didn't want to create his own account because he had to get a credit check or whatever. Okay. So she's been called out of her name trying to help somebody else. There are very few white people who can say that they have had a true experience as ours. The silence from her indicates that she has not. I'm giving her the opportunity to say that she has gone through some of the things. Because so we can have a dialogue. I even sent out the link. I'm gonna send it out again. And maybe, just maybe we can get her to come on and say her piece. Because far be it for me to take anything away from this woman's story. Because if you have something to say, dear, by all means, the floor is yours. But what you cannot, will not, and shall not do is come on here and try to downplay what we are going through and what our story is right now at this very moment. That's what you will never be able to do, especially on anything that got my name on it. I am here for the fairness across the board. I'm totally here for that. But what you will not ever do is take our story away from us and try to diminish it and try to say, I did that too. I mean, that's not just a black thing. When I never once said it was a black thing, ma'am. I have not had a lot of these experiences, which we already know. I'm also not trying to compare. You actually did, but okay. There's also a lag in the messaging. Okay. I don't have anything to say. I'm trying to listen and learn, which is something you should have done from the very beginning, with all due respect. I bet you can comfortably walk around your neighborhood without being stared at like you don't belong. Your family can walk in the corner store without you having a panic attack while they are gone. Step away from this live. Feel free to watch, like many others are doing and not speaking. Have you ever worked in a store and have someone tell you they don't want you to help them because of the color of your skin? Again, this ain't what you want. This is not what you want. And anyone who knows and loves me, I'm talking about from as long as I can remember, I've been this way. Whether we are in person, whether we are on this live on the screen, it don't even matter. It does not matter. I love everybody, but I can't stand ignorance, and I definitely can't stand bigotry, and I surely can't stand someone trying to come in and again diminish the value at which you are speaking by trying to compare it to their own. And yes, you did, Miss. I'm not comparing you. You actually did. That's what made you speak. I was speaking about my not being approved for anything, my trying to get help and this and that and the third when I've been a legitimate business for years. I'm speaking about that. Never once did I say that was a black issue. Never once did I say anything pertaining to the fact. I was talking about how we give our money. We as black people, we pay our taxes just like you do. We render unto Caesar what is Caesar, just like you do. We follow the rules and laws and everything just like you do. And yet when it comes down to, and then I shut down business out of compliance to the law, still following the order. And yet, in return, I'm still waiting. As most black people are. And then I was talking about how the loans and the money and the capital and things like that was readily available, made available for us, went to the major corporations first, which are, and whether you like to admit it or not, are owned, operated, and ran by white people. So they're going to bail their homeboys and homegirls out first. That's what I was talking about. Okay? That's what I was talking about. But this right here is the point. This right here is the point that I was trying to make here. That is actually the point. Okay? That's the point. Justice says, with all due respect, we are giving you what we go through, just like in St. Croix. I've been looked at by white people who think I didn't belong on the beach and mistreat people who were born and raised there. Yeah, come on. Those corporations are the real looters. Monies went to some of those corporations and they didn't even request the funds. But we're tripping, right? That's where the outrage comes from. That right there. That's where it comes from. We have to defend ourselves and our stories all the time. All the time. We have to show that we're deserving of fair treatment all the time. We gotta prove that we are here and all that. And you got, matter of fact, I saw footage of an officer, had his uniform on, y'all, coming out of his own building. And another resident in that same building, was getting in her car. And so she's driving by him and she says, "Do you live here? Why are you in our building?" He's like, "Ma'am, I live here. What are you talking about? You don't live here. I've never seen you before." So because of her assumption, not her facts, her assumption, she followed this man. And he's dressed in his police uniform, y'all, gun on the hip and everything. Badge. What? And he's telling her, like, "Lady, if you don't get away from me while I am walking you to my car, about to head to work to protect your goofy behind." She followed him to his car. Black man, black police officer. How do you have the nerve? This man has a visible gun on his side. He has a visible set of cuffs. But you follow him because you don't believe that he lives in your building. I'm going to call the police. Who gives you the right? What gives you the right to even bother that man? This happened last week too, by the way. This happened last week too. Why are you even bothering him? That is harassment at its best. But because he's black, he's not supposed to be a police officer? Because he's black, he's not supposed to live in your beautiful high rise? Are we not worthy of your good things? While you playing, if not for these black faces that you're so busy trying to keep from things, if not for us, you wouldn't have the stuff that you have right now. Whether you like to admit it or not, it's us. We have equipped you. Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss. She's the authority on what a police officer looks like. You understand me? We're not even a full person in the Constitution. Listen to me. Our right to vote, y'all, is a bill. It's not a law. That joker got expiration on it. It has to be renewed. Our right to vote in this joker. We are not even a part of the Constitution because the very signatures that's written on that Constitution, had slaves, had us in their fields. So no, This Constitution was not written with us in mind. They were written with us in the field. Okay? And these instances are our reality on a daily basis. It has to be redone every 50 years. Not to mention, y'all burned down Wall Street, Black Wall Street. All of these things came from us. Elevator, heart surgery, traffic lights, cell phone. Wasn't written for us at all. And we don't have a right to speak. We don't have a right to be outraged. We don't have a right to breathe. We don't have the right to say, I'm hurting. Can someone help me? You, sir, with the badge, the one who took an oath to serve and protect, we don't have a right to ask you for aid when we're paying you. Hello? Huh? You are on our payroll. If not for us, you wouldn't be, are you? So when I say I can't breathe, I can't get any aid from you because I'm black, because you don't like me. When I don't know you from a hole in the wall. You don't know me to determine whether you like me or not. I don't know you to determine whether I like you or not. Let us not forget, there was a black president on the $2 bill who was the true president, while George Washington was the classified as the first. Yes, he was not the first president. There was indeed a black first president. Hello, somebody. Hidden Figures. One of the main reasons NASA is what it is today is because of black women. But I guarantee you, before Hidden Figures came out, that probably wasn't the story that was told. In fact, even when those women were in the positions that they were in, they had to call on, hello, let me say this. There was a whole crew of people, men, women, whites, all whites, that couldn't figure it out. Had to call some women, black women, and then try to put them in the shadows. Without us, this country would not be. Taught their children, fed them, clothed them, raised them. You see the color of my skin and make your assumptions. And I'm not supposed to be outraged. He wasn't counted because he went out to fight in the war. The reason cancer research is what it is today is because of a black woman. But we're not worthy. We're thugs. We're thugs, according to our sitting president. We're thugs. Our women breastfed their babies. So we were worthy enough to feed your families, cook for you, clean after you. Even when we were freed, we took those very trades that we were forced to do for scraps at the table. We were forced to do those. And then we went in and started businesses. When they saw that we were making profit, off of what once was our we were forced to do. Then they had to make it hard for us. Now you got to get licensing. Now we got to tax you because you're not going to profit without us. We got to have a little piece of something. Dwayne said it. We didn't ask to be here. They brought us here. We were kings and queens in our land and treated as trash here. So we were forced to come here. And then now that we're here, we get treated like animals, whatever the case. So yes, our people are outraged. Yes, enough is enough. Yes, we are tired. And yes, war is being waged until you acknowledge, recognize, and respect us, until you acknowledge that our lives have value. Yes. Yes. And so, for those Black people who are not saying something, or those Black people who want other Black people to hush and be quiet and don't say a word and just, and that's enough, and we done seen enough, and oh my God, can we just stop sharing? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you why I watched it. We're tearing down what we built for free. The USA people, the people of USA must change, and it must change now. We are all equal, so we must be acknowledged. This has to end, and it must stop. Our lives do matter. I watched George Floyd. This is why I watched him. Because I have a Black father. I have a Black father. I have Black brothers. I have Black nephews. I have Black uncles. I have Black friends, Black male friends. At any given moment, that could have been one of them. Not to mention, even with us, just me, Black woman, Black mother, Black sisters, Black nieces, Black aunts. It could have easily been any one of us at any given moment. So I sat and I watched. I watched every moment of that gruesome, devastating, tragic event. I watched his face. I watched that video a couple of times. I watched his face. And I watched how he called out for his mom that had died already. Who's to say he didn't see her? Who's to say that he was leaving, and he was leaving his body and he didn't see her right there with him? Which is probably what led to him saying, "This is it. I'm dying. I'm dying. This is it." He told them, "I can't breathe, you guys." He was in compliance the whole time. He was in compliance the whole time. The whole time. Him tripping on the curb is what landed him on the ground. I watched. The whole video totaled to be about 9 minutes. I watched. I watched him. I looked at him. I made myself do it. Hard as it may have been, I made myself do it. Because that is our truth today, people. That is what's been going on. And the problem is we have turned a blind eye so many years, for so long. For so long. We have marched in peace. We have protested in peace. We've asked, we've begged, we've pleaded, we've tried to negotiate. And that's not been enough. That's not been enough. We've organized things. That hasn't been enough. At what point will you value our lives like you value your own? Like you value that of your family, that of your children, your mother, your father. If that scene was reversed, oh my God. If that was a white man on that ground and a black man's knee in his neck, are you kidding me? They probably would have hung that man. This is why we're pissed off. This is why we're outraged. This is why we're doing what we're doing right now. Do I condone violence? Absolutely not. But what else do we have to do to get our point across? We matter. We matter. We matter. And when we tried to give you the chance to voluntarily see that, you didn't. You couldn't. You couldn't. For some reason, it's impossible for you to see us. For some reason, it's impossible for you to see our value. It's impossible for you to see our truths. It's impossible for you to see our worthiness. It's impossible for you to see that we're more than just your stepping stone. We're more than just your cleaning guy. We're more than just the person that's beneath you. That is why that lady in the park did what she did. Without hesitation, she did what she did. Because how dare you talk to me that way? How dare you ask me to follow a rule? I don't follow rules. Rules aren't meant for me. They're meant for you. That was the arrogance that she put off. He simply asked her, can you put your dog on a leash, ma'am? He simply asked her that. And then he gave her dog a treat. God forbid if he did not have that camera. That man's life could have ended. That man could be doing time, all kind of stuff. Why is it so easy? Why is it so easy? It is so easy for Caucasians to spill out, especially when they're given a description. African American, an African American, a black guy, a black woman, an African American. It's so easy. Why is it so easy? What have we done to you other than be us? Why is it so easy? You kill our men, you rape our women. Why is it so easy? We want to love everybody. We want so bad to love everybody. But my God, y'all making it very hard. And the silence. Oh, the silence. The silence behind all of this. We could be forthright when we're asking for money for this and then the third for our own personal whatever. We want you to buy this and buy that. We could be forthright on those things. We could be forthright about, the houses and the cars and this and then the third. We could be forthright about all of those things. We could be outspoken on so many things. Unbelievable. This is why we're mad, because this is our reality. This is why we're mad. This is our reality. We're being killed in our own homes. Our children are being killed just by playing outside. Playing outside. Why is it so easy? You got the boy who went and shot up the church in Charleston. Shot it up, killed people. He was peaceably walked out. And guess what else? He was driven to Burger King's drive-thru for a burger. No one's condoning anything. Like I said at the top of the segment, there are some people that are doing this for their own personal gain. However, the noise that's being made, the riots, not the looting, the riots that's happening is because we have given you all so much of our money to profit off of our backs. And yet, we still can't be respected. There are so many people doing things for personal gain, for sure. However, what is the purpose behind the riots? What is the purpose? Let's stick to the purpose, not what's happening right now. Yes, those people will be dealt with. And let's continue to go and understand that the people that started the looting asked what color they were. It was not us. It was white folks. When you look at footage and all of this looting that's going on, you see white folks running in and out of those places. Yes, there are some black people there. But it wasn't us that started the looting. We had to cry out. We had to cry out. And the initial purpose behind the riots was to get the people who profited in those communities and their businesses. They got the money of the people of the community, but you can't stand with and fight for the people of the community. But see, now, yes, we do need to focus our energy. We do need to focus our energy for sure. And I never once condoned the damaging of people's property. There's a way to riot in peace. But look at what happened to the reporter on CNN. He was reporting. He was doing his job and was handcuffed and taken away. And if not for the look of the situation, they would have never come back and got his white counterparts. I don't care what nobody say. Because if they were going to arrest anybody, they would have arrested all of them at the same time. They had plenty of police right there. They arrested him, took him off, and then minutes later came back and said, oh, by the way, yeah, we got to arrest you all too. Put him in metal handcuffs, put them in zip ties. But it's baffling to me how our people are more concerned about the looting than we are about the situation. We want to be mad about, tearing up stuff, but we ain't mad about we not just as angry or outright or saying things or whatever the case. This is what I'm talking about as far as the celebrities go. Where's the outrage there? Oh, I'm sorry. Is it because it don't affect you all personally? So okay, since it don't affect you personally, then let me do something that will affect you personally, and maybe you'll hear us then. Because since we can't get your support here, since this doesn't bother you enough to stand up and say something, especially for those of us who have platforms, especially for those of us who have platforms, because it is the people that made you who you are. It is the people that made you who you are. It is the people that gives you the consistent revenue that you're collecting in your businesses. It's the people. It's the people. So the people are upset. They already outraged at the situation. They say, oh, so we can't get y'all support when we support you all the time with our money by consuming your product. We come into your stores and we're doing the things for you. So we can't get you to stay with us. Oh, okay then. Well, let's free you up some time then. The people are angry. They're angry. That part. That part right there. And maybe we won't have these issues. Yeah, racism will still be there. Because unfortunately, some of the races, they bleed this. They breathe hatred for anybody outside of them. And then when they have children, they raise them to do the same. This is taught behavior. And I think the other reason that people are upset is because in this case right here, Derek Chauvin knew George Floyd. He knew him. He had worked with him. He had a vendetta. But because he stood behind his badge, he stood with the badge, and he felt like he had a right to do whatever he wanted to do. That man sat there with his knee in his neck and his hand in his pocket. The only ones. Every other nationality got it down packed. But no, this is what we got to do. We got to compete. We got to compare. If we didn't come up with the idea, we're not going to support it. Because God forbid, you don't, you gain some notoriety or whatever the case outside of me. We want you to do good, just not better than us. Looking at the camera as if he was king and he was right. As though it was just another day. He's a scary cop. His former boss said that he was quick to escalate a situation and display his weapon. So my question then to the former boss, sir, if you witnessed this, if you know this, why was he still out? Why was he able to patrol? Those people you put on desk duty, they can't handle being outside. Those are people you put on desk duty. If you can verbally say out of your mouth as his boss, as his captain, as his lieutenant, that he's unstable, then how, pray tell, was he even out there? Why? All of this want to come out now. Why was he even on the beat? Why was he not at the precinct? This is the problem that I have. This is the problem that we all have. We are all navigating through this process here. But I'm gonna tell you something, and on top of that, what don't help, this is why I said, with our earlier commenter and things like that, until you walk in our shoes, you will never understand where we're coming from. Since the whole George Floyd situation, we have had white people to post images of them recreating the scene, putting their knee in someone else's neck. You're more than welcome. Putting their knees in others' necks, and they have the nerve to respond and say, I can still breathe. I can still breathe. How couldn't he breathe? I can still breathe. I saw a photo of 3 white guys, police officers, that had t-shirts, black t-shirts that says, I can breathe. I can breathe. And we shouldn't be outraged. We're being taken as a joke. That's where the anger comes from. We're being taken as a joke. And so the things that we have done has not worked. So let's try something else. Let's try something else. Because us operating in peace is not working for you all. Maybe if we operate in force, shake a couple of tables. Even Christ shook a table. Huh? Did he not? When he was angry, did he not flip tables up? Did he not? When he told them to do something and they didn't listen? Okay? Shaniqua says, I was downtown Cleveland. They threw tear gas at us for no reason. That's when the looting started. Tear gas for no reason. Just because you there. Just because you black. Because being black is automatically your crime. And we're not supposed to be angry. We're not supposed to be angry. Here in South Carolina, they are throwing tear gas just because they don't want to deal with the protesting. Snipers on the roof. This is what we got to deal with, y'all. Absolutely. I believe it's because Trump gave them the okay. He says if there's looting, then start shooting. Which was a quote from another government official from back in the 60s who was a known racist. 1967, 68. So Trump took that quote and put it on his own. And made it his own, rather. He took that quote, made it his own. I'm tired. You're tired. We are all tired and we want a change. But the only thing that we want to say is, can we live? Because our lives matter too. Allow us to live. Allow us to live. Just allow us to live. That's it. Allow us to live.
I am a man. I have a heart. There is so much inside of me I must impart. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Let me breathe.
I saw one comment and it said you all couldn't hear. Were you able to hear? Were you all able to hear? Just gonna wait on a response. I haven't seen anybody. Someone please comment and tell me whether you could hear that or not. If not, then I'll run it back. But in the meantime, if you are following me, which you should, okay. So you could not hear the song in itself, okay. Okay, so I only saw one comment, so I thought it was just him that couldn't hear. You guys got to communicate with me because I don't know what's on your end, okay. Hold on 1 second here. It cut out in the middle, okay. Because I need those words to be heard. I do. Okay, so let's do this here. In the sound without, okay. So y'all got to say something. That's the thing. So y'all go sit there and don't say nothing. What in the world? You got to say something so I can know. I don't know because I'm hearing it on my end. So you got to say something, y'all. I need y'all to help me. Help me. Help y'all. Help me. Okay? Jesus Christ. Woo. That's funny. Hold on 1 second.
I have a heart.
Because I need you all to hear. Okay? I need you to hear. I need you to hear. And so if you cannot hear, then please say something right away so that we can rectify the situation, okay?
I am a man. I have a heart. There is so much inside of me I must impart. There is someone that love me deep. I can't imagine life without them being near. So you can take my life in your hands. Treat me as though I'm not a common man. You may never show respect to me. But that's one thing you owe respectfully. Just let me breathe. Let lend me. Let me breathe. Let me breathe. My life matters to my family, friends, and me. I don't admit I walk in fear, never knowing when my end is drawing near. I tell my seed, you must comply. But now I know that that's our game called do and die. So I can never put my life in your hands. Allow you to treat me as though I'm not a common man. You may never ever show respect to me, but there is one thing you owe respectfully. Just let me breathe. Let me breathe. That's a God-given gift given to me. Let me breathe. Let me breathe. My life matters to my family, friends, and me. So let me breathe. Let me breathe. That is a God-given gift given to me. You may never show respect to me. Oh, you may never show respect to me. So if I die at the hands of one carelessly, remember my life mattered